So this was gonna be part like 1.5 because I realized the last one takes forever. So it'd be a good idea to review, show what my questions final versions are. So this one over here was. So the first thing I would say, because I realized that it looks small here, this one question is about how to find the apple, which is basically find a variable. I just wanted to know if you get the variable and how any variable would work for any equation. That's just all I wanted to look for that. Over here, the first question is just to figure out if you know how they're equal to each other. That's all that's asking for. Yeah, looking for two equations that look similar with the parentheses or not. The third question is basically a plug-in, but it could also be expressed because I said express, and there's like three ways you could like multiple ways. It really doesn't matter. For like five ways. Just want to know if you can express x in any way possible. It could be a number form. It could be from like x equal a plus b, or a plus two b. Doesn't matter. Number four, so I'm just looking for the simplest form of if you put two over here and parenthesize it. That's all I'm asking for. And yeah, that's all. For number five, I'm asking for making any equation possible. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I wanted because this question's like that. Number six is just a plugin, basic plugin to figure this out. Number seven is making equation with understanding how this relationship works. For one increase, you know, that's simple. Number eight is just expanded form, looking at how logic would work. If they have small thing, it would not make sense to have that small, and it wouldn't make sense to have a negative if you plug into this equation over here that you eventually find. Part C, in the case of how much of it is possible, is just basically saying, well, if it's below, you can't have negative numbers, and you can't really have anything but, I mean, integers would work. I mean, it wouldn't be a wrong answer since apples usually want it whole, but it's not the right answer also because, it could be a 0.5 of an apple. So it's fine to put integers, but 5 divided by 2 is the important part. That's all I really need. More than 5 divided by 2 is anything that works. So if it's 5 divided by 2 works, that's all I'm looking for this set of question, and it will be in the description below. So that's like 1.5 review. And then there will be a part 2 of this, and then we're going to start on the next section, which I think, because I technically have no idea because I never actually, I skipped Algebra 1, and I'm just a crazy person that loves making questions. Anyway, these are my questions I made. Lovely. And this is the answer sheet over here. Comment if I did something wrong because it was 1.5. Maybe I'll do a part 3 later on in the future, but for now it's going to be stuck with part 1 and 2. So I want to know all the mistakes of part 1 so I can fix it. But anything that's mistaken and you comment, probably if you look at the description, this would be in the description. So if you click on that, you should view it, and then if you comment the mistake kind of thing, I'll fix it. Anyways, for number one, any variables equal, so like except for I and E, which technically they're correct. They're just super annoying. So if I was to be an evil teacher, I would, or professor or whatever, I'll put 0.99. Why? Because, well, technically you didn't get it wrong. It's just that who would put I as that, or E, because they're a natural number, one of them, and the I is like a complex number representing square root of -1. So, really not like, all right, here, really confusing, but any form of these two equals fine, and saying everything is equal, because to find out which is greater, and that's impossible. So maybe more descriptive of this, but just state that these two equations are equal in any capacity and any form of this equation, and that's why I paraphrase this to like parenthesize to say that, oh, this would work, and multiple ones, and there's so many I didn't really write it down here. And here's our partial point. If you really just only put one of these two, it'd be fine. 0.7 points, I think, should be given. And remember, these are only they're just starting algebra one. Because of that, all of these questions should just give 0.5 automatically. So as long as they don't put something like bunny bears. Anyway, again, I'm just a crazy student. I'm not actually, a teacher. So I'm just a person that loves making questions. Remember that, because my brain keeps on flipping back and forth. But just remember that fact. Number three is the same thing. It's just basically just expressing x, and there's multiple ways to do it, and they're all 1 point. If they make a mistake and the variables, who cares? Just give them 0.9. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, they probably do. It's just they're starting. Anyway, number four is just this is simple for this. There's no other way going around it. So if they make a variable mistake, like a instead of a they put z or something, just put 0.9. I think that's the best option for that one. Number five, not an equation. Yes. Number five, if you look over here, 2 plus 5 = 9. That should be not an equation, and that's one of the answers you could do. Or you could just make an equation out of that for some reason, like 2 plus 5 = 9. But I said make an equation. I never said that you have to follow any of the rules I said. So that purposely is wrong. 2 plus 5 is wrong. Anyways, so you could put x equal y for all I care. You could even, as long as it's an equation, as long as defined as an equation, it works. Okay? Yeah. Anyways, number six is basically, the answer is 3. Uh, but if they make a mistake, I plug it to this one. I'm just looking for a plugin. If they put 4, that's 0.8. If wrong, just put 0.5, which is a borderline for everything here. Number 7 is basically just finding equation. This one is also finding an expanded version. There's 2 right answers because I technically just said expand. I never said like you have to solve it. Although I just realized that mistake. No, it's not. Alright, so yeah, this was a little bit confusing and not simplified. But when you said expand, I never said anything else. So these 2 are the right answer. It would work. I never said expand. I only said expand. I never said simplify, unfortunately. Number B over here is A, but BCE gets partial to 0.8 because technically they're all right, except for number D. D is completely wrong, which is why it's going to get 0.5p. Um, Part C is basically 5 divided by 2 is the actual correct answer, greater or equal to. Um, yeah, in the case of negative, I should probably face that better, but I should let's just fix that right now. That sounds way better. So what I basically did is just say in the case of negative and put a period instead, and then put when does a number show up that's possible, not impossible. That no no. Let me just fix that right now. That is possible. Okay, that sounds good. So I can't do this properly. Okay, there. Oh, that's pain. Anyways, yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's my interpretation of everything. And yeah, this is 1.5. Just in case you don't want to listen to that like 40-minute thing where I type this thing out and explain certain things, how I thought about it, you know.